What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today's video, I just want to talk about a few things. I'm just gonna get right into it. Ain't gonna be a bunch of, fancy things. eBay. And I'm not usually one to complain or, go on that whole rant with eBay, but it's just crazy because I got one sale since yesterday, right? And what's crazy is that I just had about 25 Monday, and I had about 10 Tuesday, but between then and now I just had one. And this is despite running the sale. Listings are still going live every day. Sellable items, items that I know people want. You know how I know? Because a lot of them I sell on other platforms, and they're selling. But one sale, man, one sale, and that was a sale on an offer that somebody bought of something that I'm trying to actually liquidate because it was a bad buy, and they offered me like $30 for 6 of them. And so, because I want to get rid of this stuff, I accepted that offer. Just one sale, man. And it's crazy because what can you say about that? Like, I don't even know what to say. I know that the things I sell, people want, most of them. I just come off of 2 days of decent sales for what I'm doing over here on eBay, and just to have, and that one didn't even come in until like late last night. Actually, I want to say I accepted that offer this morning when I got up. So they may have sent it last night, but then they just paid. So if it wasn't for that, I would have had a 0 day, and that would have been the first 0 day I had like since ever that I can ever remember, and for no good reason that I can think of. No good reason that I can think of. Just one sale. So for people who only sell on eBay, I actually got another offer coming through right now. Let's see what that's about. $13 item. Well, it's a lot of 2 for $13.25. Did I say I was running a sale? Yeah, I've been running a sale. So this is despite that. But they offered me $10, and I'm going to accept it because. And not just because of the one sale thing. I would have accepted that anyway. It's 2 eyeliner pencils. And I want to say the packages are imperfect. So for those types of things, I don't really haggle with people. It's $10, whatever. But I can understand why, like, if eBay is your only platform, it would be bad. If eBay was my only platform, I would probably be doing 3 times what I'm doing right now. I would be doing a whole lot more. I've said that before. I think that in order to survive on eBay as my only platform, I would have to have a store of, 5,000 to 10,000 items plus, which I would be able to manage that. That wouldn't, I would probably end up, changing some of what I sell too. So I don't know. But anyway, it's one sale, man. How was your guys' sales yesterday? That's what I'm interested to know. Was it just me, or was it across the board? Let me know in the comments below how your sales was. The good thing is that eBay is not the only pond that I fish in, and I actually had good sales across my other platforms, Walmart and Amazon. So on Walmart, I had 55 sales, and on Amazon, I had 24 sales. And these were some really good items. So what I'm going to do is, so that's a total of what? What did I say? 55 and 24, is that 89? No, 79. Sorry. So we got 79, right? I could have just made it 80, 79 orders between those 2 platforms. Now, I already printed out the labels and everything for the Walmart orders. And I'm not going to do the Amazon orders because while some of the things that I sold on Amazon are the same as Walmart, a few of them, a lot of them are not, and because of the fact that it's easier for people to sell on Amazon and see what I'm selling, I don't want people to be tanking the market on some of those Amazon sales. So I'm not going to show those. What I am going to do is I'm going to show a lot of the Walmart orders because of the fact that I'm not worried so much because most people can't get on there or just are not on there. And what I want to do is show you what I sold. I'm going to give you an idea of how much they sold for. Well, I'm going to tell you how much they sold for. Now, my cost of goods in the majority of the items I sell is going to be in $1 and some change range, all the way up to maybe about 3 or so. And that's going to depend on, and the reason I go higher sometimes is the fact that I do order pallets. And so I count, and while at the time of purchase, my cost of goods usually is on the high $1 range, maybe low 2. But I account for damaged items that are not sellable at all. And just items that, maybe don't move or that I have to kind of batch up and sell off. If I was just going by a cost of goods per item, I would be losing on those items because I just liquidate them, sell them super cheap, get them out the way because I'm not going to deal with it. But overall, I'm not losing because while those go quote unquote at a loss, I got items, the same items. If you even want to raise that cost of goods up to $3 range, right? They're still selling for $15, $20, $30, $40, whatever, right? But I'm gonna give you an idea of what I'm talking about because I'm gonna show you some of these Walmart orders without showing you the labels, okay? So, but let me give you a look at this. So I think I've shown this before. I'm gonna try to step back a little so I don't want to show people's info. But this is kind of how I lay everything out. I told you I batch things. So I print all labels first and I just lay them out like that. If there's multiples of the same item or whatever, I'll just put them all right under each other. And that way I can just go straight across and then I can do all the packing at once. I do everything at once. To me, it's just faster when you do it that way instead of going from one step to a different step to a different step. I just do everything at once and go from there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I want to give you guys an idea of how I ship items. The one question that I had answered the other day by Swearwolf was how do I know what how to pack and ship. So I'm going to show you how I ship a lot of these things, and this would be the same for pretty much whether it's an Amazon order or whatever. I'm gonna just give you an idea of what the item costs or what it's sold for and how much I ship. Or how I ship it, okay? So I got a bunch of these little NYX lingerie things, right? Liquid lipsticks. The majority of these are going to sell for anywhere from like $8 to $14. It depends just on how in demand it is. The ones that I got out right now, I got 3 separate shades that sold for, one of them sold for $8 and the other 2 sold for about $9 and some change, okay? Again, Walmart's only charging me a 10% fee and that's it. So it's real low and I just pay for shipping. These going to ship for 4 ounces. All right. This right here, 4-ounce item. I already told you what my cost of goods is into these items. And this item sold for $14. I got some lower dollar amount items like these small lipsticks and things like that. $5, $6, $7 most of the lipsticks. This right here, $17. This right here, $15. I can tell you right now, fan, this little guy right here sold for $10. This right here sold for $15. This $10. A lot of this stuff is still in the $6 or $7 range. This $11. Got this Thayers, $9. Got this $17. This some Kristen S moisture mask, $13. Let's see. Got a couple of these I sold for $11. Got that. $9. And then the rest of the little stuff is that probably in that anywhere from $5 and some change all the way up to like $8. It's just smaller stuff. Some lipsticks, some of these. This is like $5. So that's that. So that's 55 orders from Walmart, right? Now, as to how I would ship a lot of this, right? Let me show you. So these right here, they're already sealed. I just take these and I throw these right into the envelope, okay? So as I'm standing here shipping, I keep everything right next to me. So I got the garbage can right here. So I can just take off the label, throw it right in the garbage can, put the label on, of course, and I throw this in there as is. No extra wrapping, no nothing. That's it. I can throw the trash out as I go. And then I got the box that I put it in right over here. So it's just like, I ain't even really moving, man. I might just have to reach over, grab it, drop the trash in there, throw the envelope over there, right? That's kind of how I ship those things. For something like this, I would make this a little bit safer by, I'm gonna use an envelope, but I'm gonna probably use a little bit of bubble wrap just because it's plastic. I don't want to get chipped, but nothing will probably happen if I just threw this in a bubble mailer just like this, honestly. Now the lid does seem kind of loose. Sometimes I might put a little sticker on there to keep it, but all I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take one of these little bag bubble wraps. I'm just gonna throw it in there just for a little bit of extra safety. And then just going to throw it in one of these. Now, honestly, the only reason why I added this little protection is because this item costs more. If this was a $6, $7, $8 item, I would just throw it in here like this. Again, it probably would be okay, but when things cost a little more, I want to be a little more careful so I can avoid, you know, it getting damaged in transit and having to do a refund and losing the item. You know what I mean? But that fits right in there just like that. Now, instead of going through all of these, I'm gonna go through some other stuff and then I'm gonna just finish up off camera. Let's go with like something like this right here. All right, now this right here is going to be shipping in the 2-pound range, okay? So what I'm going to do, and it's going to California. It's going to California, so the shipping would be, it would cost a good amount, right? Now what I say this sold for again? This sold for, all right, $17. So what I'm going to do, normally, depending on where it goes, if it was just going somewhere closer, I would just go ahead, put it in this 4x4x4 box, fits kind of perfectly, and then ship it just like that. However, since it's going to California, that's going to cost too much to send it just like this. So I printed flat rate envelope price, $7.60. Cut the edges off a little bit. Usually I pre-cut these. I did this in another video. I usually pre-cut these, but I forgot to do that stack, so I got to do that stack. But usually my edges are already pre-cut, so I can just kind of fold it over and go. I shouldn't have to stop and cut. I should just be able to keep going. But this fits right in there, no problem. And then I'm gonna put a little tape. I always put a little tape across it, especially when the box looks a little funky. I don't want it to come loose, of course, because that has happened before. And you lose the item. But it's kind of it, man. Goes just like that. Slap the label on. That's it. All right, so next, what we're going to do is this native. All right, so now for this, these aren't twist cap lids, which if they were, I would just throw tape on it and kind of package it, but they're like pop off and they're kind of loose. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just take a piece of tape, slap it over the top. So I just put it right over the top just to hold it down. I buy these from Walmart to use. They're pretty cheap. I don't know, $2-3 bucks. You get 100 of them. They're the twist tie bags. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw this in the bag. Tie the bag. And I bought cubic rate on this. So because it's cubic rate, it must have been going somewhere close. It was probably cheaper. Got these. I think they 9. Let me see. Yeah, 9. These are actually, I think in another video I said they was 10 by 7 by 3. I was wrong. They're 9 by 7 by 3. Now these you can get free from UPS, but if you can buy them, these fit perfectly in a padded flat rate as well. So for instance, I can use these if it's shipping somewhere where the shipping is still cheap despite it being in that 2 or 3 pound range. But if it starts to be too much, I can put the items in here. I kind of like push the edges down a little bit, the 4 corners, and I can stuff this right into a padded flat rate, and it's a flat $8.30 no matter how much it costs or where it's going to. I typically do that when the item can fit in here and it's going over there to the West Coast somewhere, and shipping is going to be too much any other way. But this pretty much goes in here. I just shut it down. That's pretty much it as far as that goes. Slap the label on the box. That's it. All right, I'm gonna do a couple more things, but I'm gonna show you like this little lipstick, right? I've gotten lipsticks in various ways from other sellers before. Something like this, because the cap, I guess technically could slip off. And there's, you know, it doesn't come with a seal. I used to go through all of that. I don't do that. I will put it in here because I don't want the cap to slip off for no reason as it moves around in the mailer. So I got these little bags. They're super cheap. And I just kind of wrap it around in that. Now, if I really wanted to save time, I could just have the little seals, put the seal on there and throw it in the mailer that way. That will probably be faster than what I'm doing now because this kind of probably takes a little bit longer, just a little bit. But I mean, efficiency wise, probably be smarter to just have the seal, pop the seal on, throw it in there. But kind of just do that. That actually might be something I consider going forward. That's that. Now for ones like this that come with a seal, that's already sealed, I'll just throw it in the mailer just like it is. I used to put these in the little bags too, but then I stopped doing that. I'm thinking like, why? There's no need to, right? It's already sealed. It ain't gonna get messed up or nothing. I had no issues. So just take this as is, pop that right in there. Alright, my garbage can's already here, so I just drop the garbage in there, throw that over there. I still ain't really got to move. These again, throw right in the envelope. Drop it down. Slap the label on the mailer. See, my mailer is all right there and everything. I ain't even got to move. Everything's right here in front of me. Makes it easy, fast. Boom, throw it over there, and I'm done. All right, let's look at something like this little bottle right here. All right. What we're going to do, we're going to get one of these little 4x4s. Now, some people might ship this in a bubble mailer. Me personally, I know I can see even Amazon shipping this in a bubble mailer. Some people might even put this in the little bubble wrap sleeves and do it that way. Me personally, I don't want to take that chance. It is a glass bottle. So I'm just going to put it in one of these little plastic bags, throw it in the box, ship it up that way. tape. I keep my tape right there. I usually keep an extra tape gun, but I'm slipping. I ain't got it ready. And to be honest, I kind of don't even like that tape gun. It ain't the same kind as this one. That one is like, it's like weird, so. All right, so let's look at something I haven't done yet. All right, this for instance, this is a deodorant, and I think it's like a cream that comes out of a cap. Now initially I was going to ship this in like one of those 4x4x4 boxes, but it's slightly too big, which means I will have to go up to the 7x4x4 box. I just ain't about to do that. So what I'm gonna do, and the only reason why, first of all, I don't like shipping in bubble mailers, liquid. Like I've gotten many things in containers like this, and they've never been damaged from other sellers, from Amazon. I just don't like to do it, but that's what I'm gonna do today, especially if it has something like a plastic cap that can be broken. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put it in a bubble sleeve and then throw it in a bubble mailer, just so it's safe. And again, the lengths I go through to protect an item is going to depend on how much that item costs. Because if it's a $6, $7 item, $5 item, I ain't going through all this, man. I'm just going to throw it in the bubble mailer. But you start talking about $15, $20, $30, then the least you can do is make sure it's protected, right? If this item, because of this item, you know, costs a little bit more, it's the reason I'm going to do it this way. And I'm going to just throw it in here. And that's it. So let's do this bottle. Now this bottle has a twist cap, so it kind of can be more secure, but I'll still put a little tape over the top, keep it from popping up. So I just tape it over the top just like that, keep it from popping up. Don't really got to put this in the bag because it has a twist cap. I mean, you technically should. But after many tests, I mean, because it's a liquid, you should have plastic. But after many tests, man, these twist caps, if you just make sure they're fairly tight and you put tape over the top, I've never had nothing arrive leaking. Nobody's ever messaged me and said something arrived leaking. And that's over a long time. So I ran out of boxes. Well, I got one left, but I'll use the 7x4x4. Kind of just put it in there. Fits like that. Alright, that's that. This little guy will go in a 4x4x4 just like this. So I'm just gonna take it, pop it down in there. It's a little room, but there's nothing gonna happen. Alright, we can look at nail polishes, right? So like when I have multiples of the same item, right now there's just 2 of those nail polishes. Sometimes I might have 3, 4, 5, 6 of an item. Again, I go back to what I said about how I batch tasks, even down to certain tasks inside of a task. So because there's 2, even if there's more than one, I'm going to batch that task. So like some people might take the label, put the label on the envelope, put the item in the envelope, so on and so forth, right? That's not how I do it. Everything is batch because it's faster. So if it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I've had up to like 7, 8, 9, 10 of the same item. First thing I do is I'll do labels on envelopes first, right? Because it's just one action. It's the same action over and over again, and you can't mess it up. When you start doing multiple steps in the same process, you can start forgetting things and forgetting certain steps in the process, and I find that that's where you kind of mess up at. And when you're shipping out a lot of items like this, last thing you want to do is start like mixing up orders and messing up and forgetting stuff, right? So first step is make sure all the labels are on the envelope. So I have the stack of envelopes sitting there. Again, it don't matter how many it is. It could be 7, 8, 9, 10 envelopes first. Now the second step for sending these would be these get put in a bubble sleeve, right? So since that's another step in this same process, we're going to do that all at once too. I'm going to put the nail polish in the bubble sleeve. Just kind of fold it up like that, no tape, because it's not going to move in the envelope. Same thing with this one. All one motion here. Then we'll go ahead, put these in there. Boom. Throw it over there. Same thing for this. You can grab it, put it in there, throw it over there. Reason why that's faster is because otherwise I will be stopping between each of those steps of the process, between the labeling, the bubble envelopes, and just all that. It would be label, now take that bubble, put it in the mail, put it in a bubble envelope, then put it in there, take it off. And it's just like, I want to do all the steps of whatever part of the process at once before I move on to the next. It ensures that I get everything right that concerns that part of the process before I move on to another step of the process. That's very important, very important. Let's see what else we got. Same thing for this. This is kind of a weird thing. So the cap for this is on fairly well. So I just grab a box, 4x4x4, and again, this is why I keep all my boxes and stuff pre-taped and ready to go. I ran out of some. I'm about to run out of these. I got 2 of these left, and I ran out of the 7x4x4s, but it gets me through this process a whole lot faster than having to stop, tape the box, then before I go and package it. I just do all of that beforehand. I can take it, slide it down right in there. This is a lid that is a twist lid, so it kind of gets loose. So something like this, I don't worry about it too much. Once I close the lid, it won't move. But if you're still worried, one thing you can always do, I always keep a box of like junk supplies down here next to me. You see that? Just extra stuff that I use sometimes. Things that I use as fillers, free stuff that I get, So I'll just take a little bit of this real quick. If I'm worried about that, like coming open, which I'm really not, but just to show you if you was, what you can do. And you can kind of just, now if this is gonna put me overweight to another tier, I ain't gonna do it. But this one, I just kind of put it right there on the top. That way it won't move around. Now this tape is shut. Now sometimes when I'm really moving, I'll save a space on the table, and I won't even do the step of when I take the label off of the back, the adhesive part. I won't even do the step of even doing this and putting it in the garbage can next to me. And turn this around. What I do is I just pull it off and let it fall right on the table. Keep going, pull it off, let it fall right on. I'll just let a stack build up. Then once I get through a bunch of them, take that stack, swipe it off right into the garbage can, and keep moving like that. And that saves me a little bit of time too, because even that little motion is still split seconds that add up. Trust me, it's faster when I just kind of rip it off, boom, drop it, smack it in, drop it, rip it off, boom, and just keep going like that. You know what I mean? That's a lot faster. Let's see what else we got. All right, so these little things here. These come with a seal on it. I used to kind of put these in like a little plastic bag first. Don't ask me why. Before I put it in a bubble mailer. But I came to my senses and stopped doing that. And now I just slap this on and then slide it in a bubble mailer just like that. No fuss, no muss. All right, now we have this. Now, Amazon, man, they probably would send this in a box. I don't know. I'm not going to send it in a. Some people would send this in a padded flyer or a padded mailer. I'm not. It's a liquid. The caps can come loose sometimes, but plus it has plastic. I don't want stuff to break. You probably could wrap this up in a little bit of bubble wrap and get away with putting it in a bubble mailer, but those are just extra unnecessary steps that take extra time. So. It won't fit in a 4x4x4. We'll use a 7x4x4. I mean, it's a lot of box for a small item, but okay. I got this cheap, lightweight Dollar Tree paper, right? It's only $1 and you get, I forget how many sheets, but it's useful. You can use this, or I got a crap ton of styrofoam peanuts. I probably should just use that, honestly. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Use the styrofoam peanuts. So I just put it in there with the styrofoam peanuts and no bag over it, nothing like that. It should be fine. It won't move around. It's kind of tight. If you wanted to be safe, you could put a bag, but really don't think that's necessary. Something else I wanted to say. So every time I'm doing this, I'm looking at ways to save motions, right? And I already pointed out some things that I could do to save motions and some things that I already do. One of the things is, even when I'm thinking to myself, when I tape this, right? When I put the tape on this and I set it down so I can put the label on it, how I set it down is even important, okay? For instance, if I set it down on a weird angle, right? Instead of just setting it, let me show you. All right, I'm gonna do it upside down so you don't see the person's name. But when you set it down, right, you might set it down like this because you ain't thinking, right? You just set it down so you can get the label and put the label on. But what I even started doing is, because once I pull that label off, right, you want to get it on just right. So what you're going to do is you're probably going to take it and you're going to turn it, right, so that you can get that label to go on just right, right? You want to get kind of put it on there, whatever. You probably won't do it this way, but you might. You might even do it up vertically, right? Either way, I'm even aware consciously of how I set the box down because I don't want that extra motion of having to stop and turn it. So when I set it down, I'm automatically setting it down like this. You could do vertically. I don't mind that, but I like putting my labels on this way because when I put it on, I set it down, I take it off, I put it on, and I kind of just rub it straight across like that in one motion and make sure it sticks, right? So I'm even aware of how I place items when I set them down to pick up the label, so I'm not adding another step or another motion of having to turn it and twist it, which is totally unnecessary. All right, look, man, little stuff like that, if you do it enough, it's going to add up and it's going to start saving you time. And when you got to ship a lot of items out, time is of the essence. All right. These are kind of going to go how I said. They're twist cap, so I always make sure. And that one was a little bit loose, so I always make sure it's tightened, right? This one, cap on, make sure it's tightened. Put a little tape over the top. This is an extra step that may or may not be necessary, but again, I don't want no issues. I have as close to 100% success rate as you can have shipping these type of items, and I want to keep it that way. And for some reason, this damn tape don't want to stick to this bottle. That's weird. All right, so we might just not be able to, this tape don't want to stick to this bottle, guys. Usually don't have that issue. That's weird. Well, in that case, that is never had tape not want to stick to a container. Maybe it's like something going on with that, but I'm gonna just make sure these is extra tight. Now, those little containers are actually fairly heavy, and they have to ship in the 2-pound range. So I used Ground Advantage Cubic on Pirate Ship, of course, for both of those. And both of these little guys are going to go in these 7x4x4 boxes. I could just throw this in there like this and it probably would arrive. Now, if that tape stuck well and with the lid being tightened, I probably would do it that way. But in my mind, I kind of like worry about it. So I'll just take these bags. I'll just take one bag just in case, man, you know. Tie it off, and I'll just throw this in there with the bag and call it a day. Not worried about it moving or nothing. If you are worried about it moving, I guess you can add a little filler in there, but ain't nothing gonna happen to it. Usually if you make sure the lid is twisted and tight, lids don't typically untwist themselves. It's the caps that pop open sometimes. Alright, I'm gonna show you all a couple more things because everything after this is gonna kind of pretty much be the same. This is a little glass bottle. So it's gonna go into a bubble sleeve. Alright, we just pop it right in. Just fold that down and over. We're going to put it in one of these small 7x4 bubble mailers. And see, that's the good thing about a good majority of the stuff I sell. You see how much some of it sold for. And a lot of that stuff, man, still shipped for under £1. And now with the new Ground Advantage and the new lower UPS rates, even the stuff that don't, I'm getting even better deals now, you know, on shipping it. So that fits right in there perfectly. It's going to be the same thing for this right here. Little case. If I was Amazon, I would just throw this right in the envelope as is. However, I'm not Amazon and I ain't got money like that. So I take mine, put it in the bubble sleeve, fold it, and throw it in the bubble mail. Now, I do got bubble wrap sitting right here, right? And I used to use that for things like that little glass bottle, this item. But those are extra steps, and I used to even prep it, right? But those are just extra steps of things that I don't want to do, so I pay a little bit more for these. They're only used for certain items, but it's faster because now there's no cutting involved. It's just, you know, those take up more space, so I just use those, fold them in there, then that's it. All right, pretty much everything else that's left, I'm just going to kind of pop in the envelope. All right, there's no special packing needs really for most of this stuff. Maybe a bubble envelope for that little bottle, but the rest of this is going to get popped in envelopes as is. I'm not going to do nothing extra. If it don't come with a seal, I don't put no extra seals, no extra bags on it. I just pop it right in the envelope. Oh, hold on. I forgot about one item. It's hiding back here in the back. This sold. I don't even think I went through this when I was showing what sold. It sold for 14 bucks. All right. And this, of course, is in a box already. So all I'm going to do with this, I think it should fit in one of my repurposed eBay mailers. So these are my eBay mailers that I get for free. Basically, I go through and I use nail polish remover. And I take off the eBay logo, and I do that already. I got the whole stack there. I'm almost done with them now, but I removed the eBay logo off all of them because I use them for Amazon, Walmart, whatever. So no eBay logo. They already ready to go. I don't have to stop in the middle and take it off. I just slap this on here on my repurposed eBay supply, and this should fit. Hopefully it'll fit. Be sucking it wouldn't, right? Alright, we should be good. There we go. Just had to convince it a little bit. Yeah. See? eBay is good for something. All right, so kind of now, y'all should have a pretty good idea of how I ship. Honestly, in the time it took me to do this video of this, I would have been done with that already and already starting on my Amazon orders. Like, I still got to print those labels out and do those orders over there, and they're still only 24, so that's cool. So I don't even got to worry about it, but I would have been done by now with all of these. That shit would have been packed, ready to go, and I would have been printing out Amazon orders and working on my one eBay order. But I just wanted to do this, guys, to give you an idea. And I know I started off with the eBay thing in one sale, but this is a good reason why you do need to branch out, guys. If you're struggling on eBay, yeah, take a look at what you're selling, how you selling it, look at your listings, make sure your listings are cool. But like I said, I just came off a day of decent sales for what I usually sell, and now I go a whole day with one sale, literally one, now two if that person paid because of the offer, but they ain't pay yet. No, they did pay. So now I got 2 orders, but that's crazy. And in the same time span, I got a total of almost 80 orders on my other 2 platforms. So 80 over here and 2 over here. Like, what am I going to do? You know? And I don't know. I can't explain why. Because it's the same stuff that I have that's been selling at a certain rate on a daily basis that all of a sudden nothing's happening. And so, James, my boy in resale life, I feel your pain, bro. Sometimes I ain't gonna lie, I think you be like, I be like, man, I don't know, he might be, I think you be exaggerating a little bit, but I apologize, my man. You ain't exaggerating. I mean, and this ain't the first time I've experienced this. Back when I first started listening to you, bro, I used to think you was like, he might be tripping, but over time, you're right. I just want to say that you're right. I don't know what's going on with that. And I think you said in one of your videos how does the same things that usually sell all of a sudden don't sell no more, right? Right, exactly. How do I go from a certain amount of sales a day all of a sudden to nothing? I can't explain it, bro. And Walmart has its glitches more than any other platform I sell on. More than Amazon, way more than eBay. There's a lot of glitches on Walmart. And yet and still, I still outsell basically both of the other platforms, despite the glitches, and definitely eBay. With the same inventory I just showed you that I sell on Walmart, a good amount of that stuff is on eBay. Some of it, not all of it. But even if I did put it on eBay, it would still sit there for a while. A lot of that stuff that I sold today, I just listed it yesterday or the day before. A lot of that just got listed on Walmart, and it's already gone. That most likely wouldn't have happened with eBay. Most likely wouldn't have happened with eBay. So, I hope this video was helpful to you guys. And look, branch out, man. Check out what you sell. Maybe try some other things. Maybe try some other platforms. Don't be afraid. Things might work out better for you. Try to sell something else and see what happens. All right. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And hit that notification bell because you're going to want to be notified next time I upload another video.